Welcome to the bench, friends. This is Joe, Blue Oval Racing, HO Scale Custom and Performance. On the bench, a mixture of things. Tyco, Lifelike, and Tomy Super G Plus. I have been fiddling around with slot cars a little bit every day this week. I haven't made a video. I've been working on Tycos, Lifelike M chassis, Vipers. I think that was it. A few videos back when I made the video on the Tomy Super G Plus, where I installed the armature from a can motor from a Marchon HO slot car. Someone noticed that the rear axle assembly, the rear was pinned. Now, I'm not a serious racer. I run around my home track. I don't race other people. I don't have anybody in my area really that are into HO slot cars that I have found yet. It'd be nice if there was some. I pin them because I think it looks cool and for something to do. I can't remember the name of the person who asked, well, how did you pin the rear end on a Tomy Super G Plus? I figured I would show you. This is another Super G Plus that is, well, this is not factory stock. Level 4 motor, level 10 traction. And I built a rear end for it, a Viper rear end. What I do in order to pin the rear of the car for the axle, I will put an axle in. Well, that one ain't gonna fit, but I put an axle in, a bare axle, without no wheels on it, like that. So I can get a reference point where I need to drill for the pin to go. You don't want it even with the axle, or the pin won't, if you drill the holes up here, the pin will hit the axle, it won't go through. You want to drop just below the axle some when you're drilling. But how do you drill here? Because there's no dimple. Well, I will show you that. I do not use one of these to figure out my location. I use an X-Acto knife. I go to the axle, drop it down some, a pinch, down, and I rock the knife right along that edge and put a mark right here. Do the same thing with the other side. Drop down a little bit. Mark on the corner. Like so, right here. Double check. Pull the axle out. Now, since there's no dimples where you can just go straight in here and drill, You can see this is on an angle here, so it's kind of hard to go straight in. I take an X-Acto knife, a point. This is the dangerous part. You don't want to get cut. I go to the mark I made, and I go halfway where the drill has to drill in here. Right in there, right in the middle. I go to my mark I made, drop over to make sure I'm going to be halfway. I put the knife on the corner. Do not stab yourself. I put a mark like this on the chassis. Do not shove the knife into your hand. Do not slip. Do not do it like this if you're afraid of danger. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Lost in Space. Dr. Smith was a trip. Then I straighten it out as I'm spinning it. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this knife blade. I'm just letting the knife put a mark. Just like that. And I end up like this. I started a dimple. I go to a bit that's larger than the bit that I need to drill for the pin. I do the same thing, and now I go to the mark that the knife made. I start to drill. I start to straighten the bit out as I'm drilling. Just like so. Until I straighten it out. And now I have a dimple. Like that. Now there's a dimple. Then I take the drill bit, 20 thousandths. It's a 20 thousandths drill bit, or 508 millimeters. And then we just drill. Don't put a lot of pressure on the bit as you're drilling. You don't want to bust it or drive it in your hand. We're through the first section. See the first section, and there's a gap right here. You drill through the little section. The second, do not drill in to the chassis on this side. See, I'm through the one. Let's get through the second. Just like that. Get yourself your pin. All right. Careful when you cut it. You don't want to lose that other half of the pin. Because you do not want to step on it and have that go in your foot, bury in your foot, or you'll be going to the hospital to get dug out. So we've cut the pin. Take a flat file, follow a small point, trying to get the rough edges off the side of the pin where we just squeezed it with the cutters to cut it. Just like that. Take your pin. It's going to be tight at first. I may have to open it up a little bit more. And there you have it. The pin could be trimmed shorter. So that's how I do it. It's easy, piece of cake. Now on the Tyco, we'll take this wide pan here, put an axle in it. I'll do the same thing. Line it up with the axle below it, drop a pinch further down, because you do not want the pin to be drilled right into where the axle is. Otherwise, the pin's going to shove in and hit the axle if you put it up here. You want to be below the axle and a pinch more lower. Yeah, right about there. That's good. I do the same thing. Start with the knife. Don't put pressure on the knife, like I said before. You don't want this slipping off and going in your hand. Large drill bit. I'm making a dimple. You see that dimple right here? You want to make sure when you drill through halfway through the width of the plastic. And drill. I'm going to need to change this bit. You can do a couple of cars, but the plastic is actually kind of tough. I actually believe there's some fiberglass in this plastic. Okay, so I'm at the halfway point. All right, let's go ahead and drive it home. There we are. And just like that. Grab yourself a pin. Don't forget, don't lose that on the floor. And there's that. And there you have it. Pinned. Tyco 440 times 2. A Tomy Super G Plus. Pin needs to be cut a little shorter on this one. This was a demonstration. Only did one side on each. So those who feel like pinning any type of car they have their heart desire to, as long as the axle pushes up from the bottom, I think it can be pinned. At least I can pin them. Like I said, you can do the Lifelike M. I do the Lifelike T chassis, any Tycos. Super Racing turbos, you could do all those. lifelike T-chassis. I had one. I don't know where it went, but my bench is a little bit of a disaster, shall we say. Anyways, that's it for this video. Until next time, friends, have a good one.